It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right, what's happening? Good morning, everybody. I got my people rolling on here. I was a little worried because yesterday we had a whole ton of people jump on first thing as soon as this thing went live, and I was in the wrong place. And we found a whole ton of new people yesterday to jump on this show. So good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, November 26, 2019. We are only 2 days away from Thanksgiving Day, which means, for me at least, turkey, family, and football are the things that come to mind for me. It's a Thanksgiving tradition for my family, for me to chill out and enjoy the day, taking in the things that matter most. So our family, making memories, traditions, creating traditions, teaching our kids what it's all about. So I want to talk this morning a little bit about those things that we all have to be thankful for. And, I think that there's a couple of different ways that we can look at ways, things to be thankful for. And there's some ways that I think that we all can do a better job of, just showing people that we're thankful. And I'm going to give you some of those. I looked some things up online. And I think that, one of the things that I try to do through this show is do things that I wish people had done for me along the way. Just remind me of the things that sometimes we don't take the time to do. So I woke up early this morning, about 4:45, and I started digging around at different things and started to put my mind in the right place about being thankful. So when we think about, guys, the things that we have to be thankful for, there's a whole list of things that come, flooding into your brain. Obviously family comes to mind, a home to live in, food on your table, great friends, the growth that you've experienced in your life, hopefully some clarity you have to be thankful for, lots of great memories. We all have memories that make us thankful. I can think of a lot of things that make me thankful. Thanksgiving Day, growing up as a kid, and looking forward to going to my grandparents' house every single Thanksgiving. And just spending that time there is something that will be special for me, for the rest of my life. And so I want to go through some of those things that we have to be thankful for piece by piece. And then I'm going to throw some curveballs at you. And we're going to talk about what it means to be thankful for the opposite, for those hard times, for the lessons, for the bad experiences, maybe the bad people that you've worked for, bad friends, people stabbed you in the back, and finding a way to find peace with all of that so that you have the ability to be grateful and thankful all day, every single day of your life. And that's really what it's all about. And then last but not least, we're going to go through some ways to, express your thanks and your gratitude. And I think there's some cool ways that I've found on a website here that gives you some ideas both inside your house and then outside of your house that might help you create some new relationships, friendships. For those of you like Trisha who have moved into a new neighborhood, I got some suggestions there. But at any rate, I want to say good morning to some folks. What's happening, Patricia? Trisha Dean, my wife, is on here this morning. Lydia, Jeff, Bob, Dina, Samantha. We got Darren. What's happening? Bruce, Paula, and Heather. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Thank you for jumping on. We got a whole big audience here this morning watching, so I appreciate you guys tuning in. And hopefully we're going to put your mind in the right place this morning as we approach the final days headed into Thanksgiving here. So, when we think about being thankful, the first thing that usually comes to my mind is family. Whether it's my parents, my wife, my kids, my brother, my wife's family, everybody in my family. And I think that as we get into Thanksgiving and we think about our families, no matter how, crazy things might get in our families at times and how hectic things might get or, whatever. Some people go through a lot of, controversy in their families. The reality is this, guys, for most people, and I can't say all because there are some family situations that, that are toxic and people remove themselves from, and that's a good thing. But most people, family is something that is irreplaceable. It's not something that, by the way, for those people who, don't have a good relationship with their family, most of the time they find a new family to be a part of. And I will tell you this, guys, we are put on this earth in a family structure for a reason, because we are not meant to go at this life alone. We are meant to coexist with other people, and in some way, shape, or form, that's the way that this life is supposed to be lived. And whether you're single or married is irrelevant. Whether you are have a family, everybody in your family might have passed away, but the reality is that you have to make a family if you don't have one, and you have to have a family structure regardless of the circumstances. And that is something that, as you go into this Thanksgiving season, this next couple of days here, I would encourage you to spend some time really thinking about what family means to you. And by the way, like I said, family is not always blood. There are people beyond my blood family that are as close to me as my own family, and those people are considered family. So it's not just your blood family, but anybody in your life that you would consider family. When you think about that word, those people come to mind. Spend some quiet time this week thinking about how grateful you are for those people. The second thing that I have on my list here that I mentioned was, just having a home. When you think about around the world, how many people struggle just to have a home. And, right in our own country, there are a lot of people that don't have a roof over their head. And so for those of us that do, number one, take the time to help those that don't. When you see somebody on the street, have a conversation with that person, shake their hand, give them a hug, and be thankful for the home that you have, the roof over your head that you have. And don't ever take it for granted, because there's a lot of people in this world that would do anything to trade places with you. No matter how bad your circumstances are, there are a lot of people out there that would trade places to get your problems. And I think it's important for us to recognize that, there are those things like having a roof over our head that we take for granted. We assume that that's a right that we have, and it is not a right that everybody has on this planet. So this week, spend some time thinking about how thankful you are for what you have, and also spend some time, thinking about if there's something in your life that you want to change. If you want something new, you want to move into a different area or a different house. The first thing that you have to do to get something new is to be grateful for what you have already. And so I think that it's important to spend some quiet time with yourself, being thankful for that, for having a roof over your head. Food on your table. Almost everybody, probably that's on this stream, will be sitting down at a table this week and having Thanksgiving dinner and having, an abundance of food on that table. And so take the time to be thankful for that. And, my daughter came home yesterday insistent on, they're having a drive at school that will feed people who are hungry, who don't have food on their table this Thanksgiving. And so, take the time to be grateful for that you have. And also take the time, it doesn't matter how much money you have, take the time to donate some money or donate some food to those who are in need, because there are a lot. And sometimes in our lives, we live in these areas that we don't see a lot of this. Not all of us are around that situation where people are struggling to that degree, but don't forget about those people. And make sure that when you see these people out and about that are collecting and taking donations, or we have the ability to find things on the internet to do good these days where you can just donate some money. And it doesn't matter, guys, if it's $1 or $5 or $500. Just make sure that you guys are donating as much as you can to those in need, and being thankful. When you see all that food on your table this Thursday, I want you to think back to this moment and just take a minute, close your eyes, and just thank God for the opportunity to sit there amongst whoever it is that you're sitting there with, your family, your friends, and just be thankful and do for others. Be thankful for your friends. Be thankful that you have people in your life that help motivate you, that help hold you accountable, that push you forward, that tell you the truth, no matter how good or bad it might be. Those people who you call friends and who are the people in your life that you communicate with every single day, those people help set your thermostat. And those people, I can't be more grateful for the people that I have in my life. And that is family, friends. All of you guys that tune in here every morning are like family to me. I mean, there's people that are on here every single morning for the past. I think this is episode 68. And, it's just incredible. There's Paul Fisher. He's a neighbor, and I met him on social media. I met him on Facebook, and he just came and hung out at the house the other night for an hour or so, just to kind of get to know each other. But it's just amazing how blessed we are in this day and age. And a lot of people give social media a bad rap and talk about the negatives of social media. But I can tell you that when used properly, what you're going to gain through using social media properly is going to be far greater than anything that you could possibly lose. And so take some time this week, guys. And I keep saying it, but I'm going to make a point to point it out to you guys. I think that we all live crazy lives in this day and age, right? We're always moving, and we're always, we're always occupied mentally, physically. We're always moving, and we don't really take the time. And I've been trying to make it a point. I've been getting up earlier and earlier to just get a half an hour or 45 minutes that I can spend quiet time thinking about those things that matter. And what that does, guys, is it creates the emotions in your life, in your body, that allow you to see clearer. And so I would encourage you to spend some quiet time this week thinking about your friends and being grateful. There's two more things here that I'm going to combine, and that is growth and clarity. I think they almost go hand in hand. At least I hope they do for you. When you talk about growth in your life, one of the things that is really important to realize, guys, because I say to people all the time, do you think that you've made a lot of progress? Well, I think that things have pretty much stayed the same for me. And the reality is, guys, I want you to look at it like this. There is no staying the same in this world. There is no staying the same in business. There is no staying the same personally. You're either winning or you're losing. You're either moving forward or you're being pushed back. And so be thankful for that growth that you've experienced. And I think that it's important. One of the things that I say all the time is I encourage people to use a planner and to write things down so that you have some sort of record of what you're doing from day to day, from month to month. We've had a lot of conversations. I've had a lot of conversations with my team over the last couple of days talking about what we have accomplished this year. And, when you got your head down and you're working hard, you may not really see that growth day to day. It doesn't seem like much. But when you can chain together a couple of solid years of good activity, man, it is amazing what you can put together. And don't forget to take a look back and gain that clarity on where you've come from. And by the way, if you haven't grown in the past year, if you haven't had the best year, or you've been pushed back for a variety of reasons, that's okay too, as long as you have the clarity around why that happened, and then a plan and a strategy of how to move forward. But spend some time, guys, being thankful. And we're going to get into, if you didn't have a great year, we're going to get into being thankful for that too here in a second. But that clarity that you get from those times of growth or those times of challenge, that clarity is what will make your life fulfilled. That clarity. Remember that word, guys. It's clarity. It's being honest with where you are and where you want to be. This isn't, doing it for the gram or doing it for the Facebook audience. This is about true inner peace and being grateful for where you are, for the lessons you've experienced, for the growth you've experienced, or the challenges you've experienced. And when you get that clarity, the fulfillment that you will feel in your life is unmatched. I told somebody on the phone last night, I'm not a person, like, I don't think that I can lead every single person on this earth to their fullest potential, but I am very confident to get people to a better place. And hopefully, while I'm getting them to a better place, I can continue to grow and lead them all the way as close to their potential as I possibly can on this earth before I take my last breath. And that, guys, is what growth is all about. It's about helping yourself and helping other people at the same time push the ball down the field and create something magical both for them and for you at the same time. So make sure that this week you take the time to look back at what you've accomplished this year or the challenges that you've experienced and gain some clarity on your growth or the challenges that you've had this year in 2019. Now we're going to get into the interesting part where we talk about how to be thankful for those things that don't go so well, that are not always great. And, we have them. I tell people this, and, I don't share a lot of, details when it comes to like the things that happen. Because number one, I don't want people thinking that I want any sympathy for the things that I got to go through in my life. Because I don't. But I do want you guys to know that I go through, we go through a lot of hard times. And, whether it's challenges in business or things personally or just bad days or, things that come up, we don't pay attention to things and things go off the rails. Everybody has those moments of having hard times. And I will tell you that in the past, 5 years, I've had some really interesting hard times in my life and been knocked down to a point of pretty much starting over in my life in a lot of ways. I've always managed to do fairly well, financially from year to year, but in a lot of ways I was knocked down to a point where I was like, just reconsidering everything in my life, whether I should go and take a different path. I almost ended up not even being in the business that I'm in because I was so thrown off during those hard times that I started to question just everything. And when I look back at those hard times that I experienced and those times where, I was kind of pushed to thinking through every aspect of my life, I was forced to reevaluate everything from, who I surrounded myself with, what I was doing every day, what were my habits, what was my next step going to be, and what was ultimately God calling me to do. When I think about those hard times, I couldn't be more thankful for those moments that I endured. Because what happened was that I got really, really clear on what I wanted to do. And when I got really, really clear, there's still a lot of work to do. There's still a lot of progress that needs to be made to be able to make those things start to become a reality, which is, in some cases, some of those things have happened already. They've become reality. Some things, are a long way off that I plan on doing. But every single day we put in the work and we get a little bit closer. And every time I find a new person that's special that we can bring into the fold, that helps us get there faster. But without those hard times, without those really trying moments that kind of, make you question everything and make you think about what it is that you're supposed to be doing or that you truly want to do, I'm not sure that I would have the clarity or the motivation or the courage to get on here and talk to you guys or, any of those things. Because at that time, when I was kind of, going through all those tough times, up until that point in my life, I really, I can't think back to significant challenges that I had to that level. Certainly we all go through things, but it was a fairly smooth path for me. And, when I got to that point where things started to get really difficult, it's when things got really clear for me. And so I would tell you guys to spend some time thinking about those moments in your life where things got tough, and most people that you talk to that have been through those types of times and then rebounded and got back on a great track or a better track than what they were on before, will tell you that those hard times are what truly defined them and made them realize exactly who they were and what they wanted to accomplish in life. And so I am personally thankful for those hard times. And I think that you guys should spend some time thinking about those hard times for you. And that could be, a job that you had, a family situation. All of those hard times will give you incredible clarity if you allow them to. And so I would encourage you to think about some of those times this week in a positive manner and think about how those things happened for you, not to you. And, the lessons that you learn along the way, I can think back to, I had a great run. I just talked to somebody from my old company, my old corporate company yesterday on the phone. We got some business going on that we need to move some things over to my old company. And it was interesting having that conversation because it brought up a lot of things from that company that I remembered. And I had told that person on the phone yesterday, look, the lessons that I learned over those years working in corporate America and climbing the corporate ladder, those lessons, and all of them were not good, by the way, but those lessons have given me incredible gifts in my life. And I think that a lot of times we don't look at those lessons in the right way in the moment. We're not, we're letting our emotional response to these situations get the best of us, where the lesson can be temporarily lost because we don't take the time to kind of just look at it from a 30,000 foot view. Take yourself out of that situation and allow yourself in that moment to be thankful for every lesson that is being taught to you every single step of the way. And so take some time this week, guys, and think about those lessons. It could be, things that happen to you. It could be things that have been done to you as you're thinking right now. And when you start to think about these lessons and the true meaning behind them, you will see the reason that it happened for you and the lesson that you were supposed to take from that. And I believe that God gives us a lot of lessons in ways that we don't maybe understand in that moment. But as we get more mature and we, understand life a little bit better and better every single day, that those lessons that we learn become invaluable. And those are things that help us serve better and help more people as we go down the road and be able to just live life in a more positive and giving and serving way. So be thankful for your lessons. And last but not least is your bad experiences. Think about those times in your life where, something bad happened to you. There is always a positive lesson in those bad experiences. And we touched on a little bit of this with regard to hard times, but, a lot of us have bad experiences, whether it be, relationship problems or divorce or, whatever it is, failed businesses, failed friendships, or people stabbing you in the back, whatever it is. There are always things to be thankful for in those experiences. I'll give you guys an example, and this is a little bit of a controversial topic, but for those of you who know me know that I love everybody, and So I have no problems talking about these kinds of things openly. But, I had one of my gay friends back in the day tell me that, you have no idea how people treat him because of his sexual preference. And, he said, man, you'd be amazed at how many people just treat me so poorly right out of the gate because I'm gay. And I said, well, man, you should be thankful for that, because it probably would take me a couple of weeks to figure out that person's not a nice person, versus you get to figure it out right away and you don't have to waste any of your time figuring it out. So there is always, in every bad experience, there is always a silver lining and something to be thankful for. So I would encourage you guys to try and process things that way this week. If no other time in your life, do it during Thanksgiving week, so that you gain some perspective. That's what this show is all about, gaining perspective for people. And hopefully we've done that this morning. So we're running a little late on time, but we got a couple minutes here, and I'm going to give you guys some pointers here on some things that I looked up that I thought were pretty cool. Just showing gratitude in a variety of different ways. So it says, the number one tip here is show gratitude to your neighbors by bringing them Thanksgiving treats. Wrapping up some cookies in simple plastic with something on the top that just says, hey, we're thankful for you. Thank you for being our neighbor. Putting something in your home that allows people to write and add to it for things that they're thankful for. The one that I'm looking at right now has their kids wrote on it, I'm thankful for movies, for popcorn, to play. I'm thankful for our house. I'm thankful for pacifiers for my little brother. But it's, whether it's a turkey and you add feathers to it or anything like that, just something that you're allowed, to be thankful. One of the things that I have participated in here recently, I got this idea from a guy named Ray Higdon. He does something called Wealth Wednesdays. When you take some money, whether it's $20 bill, $50 bill, $100 bill, and in this case, there's a whole movement of people out there that are going into grocery stores or different places, and you might find a box of diapers or a bottle, box of formula, something, and tuck, $20 bill, $100 bill, whatever it is that you can afford into that box, so that when a mother opens that, they get a surprise. And so you could do that this week, and you could add a note to it that says, something about being thankful, and that, just wishing them a happy Thanksgiving. Let's see what else we got on here. This one says, buy a pumpkin and write, what are you thankful? And then put a Sharpie next to it and have the kids or your family or everybody that comes over write something that they're thankful for on it. I thought that was cool. And let's see here. The other thing was, so there's a lot of different ideas to write things that you're thankful for. There was one here that I'm looking for. Cool one for kids is to make a thankful chain. So to just cut out pieces of paper, I am thankful for, and then have them write something, and then you just kind of put a piece of glue on it, and you make a big chain across your mantle or anywhere in your house that you can think of. But I think these are cool ideas, and we're going to do some of these in my house. I'm going to make sure of it. And I just wanted to share those with you guys so that hopefully you can have a little bit more fulfilled Thanksgiving with your family, and hopefully make it a little entertaining and fun, and make people actually think about what they're thankful for this week. So any rate, guys, it is 8 o'clock on the button. I appreciate you guys hanging with me here for a half an hour. I am thankful for you guys, and I'm thankful for the community that we're building here. I appreciate all of you guys. I saw that some of you shared this out. I think that everybody needs to hear some Thanksgiving messages this week. So if you guys enjoyed this, please share it out to your pages or groups that you're a part of, or anywhere that you can get it. It's public, so you can put it anywhere. And I will upload this to YouTube. It'll be available on the podcast platforms as well. And I'll drop the link to this article that I was reading from in the comments here, so that you guys can go through all these things, because I just picked out the ones that I thought were cool, but there's a whole lot more that you can pick from that'll make Thanksgiving a little bit more exciting in your life. So I appreciate you guys. I'm so thankful for you guys being here every single morning with me. this has been an awesome couple of months in my life to do something like this. And, just a great way to start my morning every single morning with all of you. So I appreciate you guys. I will see you again tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. I love you guys. Thanks for being here.